think I'm live on both. Don't know where to look. Okay, so today I am going to talk to you about the day that I yelled at my class. So here I am, the face of an Instagram account that gives teachers advice for handling challenging behaviors. I talk a lot about positive reinforcement, love and logic, staying calm, letting the kids own their problems. So you're probably wondering, why would I, in my right mind, ever go live to tell you about a time that I yelled at my class? Like, I can picture that if I had an assistant, which I clearly don't have, but I could imagine them being like, Caylee, what are you doing? This is a terrible idea. We all have before stories. You just released a course about helping preschool teachers. Do you think they're gonna buy it if they think that you scream at your kids? And I would just tell my assistant, you're right, I hear you. I might sound a little crazy right now, but these teachers need to know that I have a before story, and I didn't always know what I know now. So my message to you today is that I've been where you are, and I want to start out by saying, yes, my social media accounts are all about giving behavior tips and sharing strategies to help you handle tough behaviors, but I wasn't always here. I'm not trying to fool anyone. Once upon a time, I was a very inexperienced teacher, adorably naive. First year teacher is the year that I'm gonna talk about for this story today. I didn't even wear my apron yet, so this was way back in the beginning, and I'm gonna take you back with me for a quick story. So this was back when I didn't have all the tools that I have now, but I was trying my best. Like, I was giving it my all, but sadly that's not enough to get the job done. As most of you know, you're trying everything. If there were points for effort, you'd be all set, but it doesn't work like that. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. So here's the story. I still have flashbacks of coming into my classroom, and my para had brought my kids back just a few seconds before I got there. So it was, 10 or 15 seconds of me coming down the hall. So they're getting to the carpet area. And this was way back when I had like an actual projector, like a DVD player thing like that I put on a table. And it would just project onto the big screen. It wasn't like the fancy stuff that they have now, but it was fine when the kids would be sitting down and, I would turn it on. They didn't really realize the lighting situation. So this particular time, they had come in and walked to their spots, and it was already set up and turned on. So they kind of noticed how the projector works. There's a light coming out, and I'm sure that a few of the kids noticed that they could see their hands and, make reflections in the bright light. It's a really nice science lesson if it had been done right. But I turned the corner, and I see all of my kids now standing up enthusiastically, like they're all just jumping up and down, making puppets and flailing their arms and deer antlers, the whole bit. And I was just standing there like, and like my brain is not giving me any ideas. I'm trying to think, but nothing's happening up here. My mind is blank. Have you ever felt this way? I had no productive thoughts happening up here. So this important moment, all of a sudden, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't think straight. And I just, like a caveman, I just yelled out. I don't even remember what I yelled. I think it was, sit down! But I can't really remember. The entire room froze. I didn't even recognize my own voice. Finally, my brain catches up with the situation, and this is the thought that crosses my mind. Who's yelling? It was like, I'm just standing there. My mouth's all like looking up at my brain like, oh, really? Who yelled? Like, you didn't just hear me yell? It was just like nothing was connected. Nothing was working together. So I had to stop, gather myself, get my parts back in order. We're all involved in this. I had to regroup. I mean, it felt like minutes went by that I was just trying to get myself together. My mouth was blaming my brain for not having a better idea for me to try. It's all like, you knew I was going to say something if you didn't stop me. And then my brain was blaming my hand for not just reaching over and turning off the light switch like a civil person. Meanwhile, I have a room of 16 preschool kids just staring at me. It was like they didn't even know how to react. They stopped because whatever I yelled had startled them. And then they were kind of just like, what is she yelling about? Like, it wasn't even a scary yell. It didn't really have a big effect on them, that frantic outburst of mine. It was just such a bad moment. I felt so out of control. Like, my brain literally had no better ideas, so I made a loud noise with my mouth. And it made it so obvious to my kids that I didn't know what I was doing. Like, still to this day, I feel like when one person yells at another person, it's because they are out of control. Same with spanking, which we don't really have time to go into. This feels like a touchy subject to even approach, but I don't mind sharing my opinion. I'm not on the spanking team. If you've been here long, that shouldn't surprise you. But I feel like spanking is a parent's reaction because they don't have any better ideas in that moment. Usually they get caught up. A child does something and they quickly react. So in that instance, my thought is that that parent is out of control. I've never seen a parent totally level-headed, thinking clearly in a situation, calmly ask a kid to come over for a spanking, right? Like, maybe old school parents did it like that, but then people realized, like, no, this isn't the way to go. And then I feel like it's just continued on because it's a reaction that parents do impulsively, and it happens and it's over. And I think that anyone that's looking at that can say that parent didn't know what else to do. And that was me standing there just yelling, making loud noise. So let's get back on track and I'll wrap up the story. So this yelling incident happened in my first year of teaching. I'm not proud of it, but it was moments like that that put me on the path to where I am today. So I stood there and yelled like the guy from Goonies, "Hey, you guys," because I didn't know what else to do. And that didn't feel good in the heart area here. So I started on a journey to find ways to react that would feel better, a little better in my heart, and feel better for my students. Because the way that you make your kids feel is one of the most powerful tools that you can put to work for yourself. Once you can channel that power, look out, baby, big changes are going to happen. I spent years on the journey of, okay, what's this kid going to do? I see the behavior. Okay, let's try something. Let's try this. Then I check, how does it feel in my heart? How does it feel for the kid? And when I find something that, yep, that felt good to me, and yep, that kid was supported and felt successful when I did it that way, then I would put that strategy in my toolbox. And I know you're going to be proud of me. I eventually found enough strategies to replace the random shouting reaction. And I'm proud to say that I haven't even had to raise my voice in years. How about that? Great stuff, right? And it's stuff that will work for you too. So when I realized that, I knew I had to find a way to get the word out, to get the message to you, the teachers who need it. And that's when I went to work on this course. And I've spent the last 6 months, very pregnant months, squirming uncomfortably in chairs as I work on the computer. I've tried all the cushions in my house. I'm still uncomfortable in every chair I sit in. But I've just been working hard and putting this all together into a package to share with literally you. Like, I have been on the hunt for preschool teachers like you who are having trouble with the stuff that your kids are doing, who don't have the right messages happening between the brain and the body, because I've been there. And now I have created a solution for us. And I created it a certain way, specifically because I never had any training like it. I never went to one of those required district trainings that we had to go to for the required hours so that we could put that certificate in our binder. I never left one of those feeling like, oh wow, that was really helpful. Now I know what to do next time my little buddy starts chucking pencils. Like, it never happened. I always left there feeling like it was generic feedback that wasn't really for me and wouldn't really help me with what I was facing in my room with my kids right then. I never found the answers at those trainings. Being great at handling tough behaviors, it doesn't come naturally. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like no one talks about this, but no one just naturally knows how to respond to a kid having a violent tantrum. Like, maybe someone is super calm, they're a super calm person, so they're better off than someone like me who's a crazy person. But still, we're both in a very similar situation when we start experiencing those big behaviors. The super calm person might look cool and collected, while I have no poker face. My face is clearly showing my emotion, which is just panic. I start breathing heavy, my eyes are darting, I'm freaking out. I'm going back to my caveman instincts, like looking around, trying to locate the exits. Immediately assess the danger. Do I fight or flight? You know, my mind is racing, but there's no words coming out. It's funny, I talk a lot and I talk fast. You would think that I would have something to say in these moments, but my mind would just go blank. And there's no productive thoughts happening. So I'm standing there waiting for my brain to give me something good to do, and I get nothing because my brain is freaking out. And whether you're calm or not in the situations, you just can't, no one knows how to come into those scenarios and de-escalate them until they have done it over and over, or they've had similar experiences that give them a chance to try different things, or unless they've had training, like real training that helps them to know exactly what to do so that then their brain can pull from something. Remember that lesson Caylee showed us? Oh yeah, I remember. And then your brain can tell your body what to do. First year teachers don't just have the words magically pop into their head to handle any behaviors that come their way. They just don't. They have to get their feet wet and start experiencing the madness so that they can start figuring out strategies that will work for the things that they're seeing. And then each year that teacher has new and different behaviors, and they try new and different strategies and ways to respond, and they might have some luck handling some of those behaviors and so on and so forth. But my point is that no one just comes out of the gate with those skills mastered. Why? Because first off, the way you need to be when those things start happening is not the natural reaction for most people. You need to be calm and you need to think clearly, but does that happen? No, especially not the first couple times. Your natural response is to go to an elevated state. If someone is yelling at you, you're going to be in a heightened state. You're like on high alert, and it makes it hard to think. Your body will just start reacting. For me, my hands would get sweaty. My breathing would change, and like I said, my mind would go blank, waiting for directions. I'm standing there, hello? What do I do? Okay. Hello, I can't hear you. Speak up. It's noisy out here. This kid is screaming. I can't hear myself talk. And in those moments, I couldn't think of anything because my brain was freaking out, and it's just the natural response for our bodies. So the only way to change the reaction is to find something better to do, because we're smart. If our brain can think of something better to do in that instance, it will. But it can't just come up with a solution that it doesn't know. And that's where my course comes in. So if you don't know what to do, you can't get better at doing it because you don't know what to do or where to start. If you don't know what to do, you can't attempt a strategy. You can't give something a shot if you have no ideas. If you don't know what to do, you can't get better at handling tough behaviors because you don't have the information that you need to act differently. This is where my course comes in again. I'm going to give you the ideas. I'm going to tell you what you should do. And it's not a generic training like the ones that are required by the district that you need for the hours in your binder. Those give you vague ideas and help try to encourage you to problem solve on your own. No, this is not what my course is. My course is very specific, very personal. I'm going to take your hand and walk you through every step of it. And the big thing that I wanted to make sure that my course would do for you was to inspire you. Because in all the trainings that I've ever been to, I never once felt that fire of inspiration. Never. No one ever gave me hope or made me feel like I can do great things. I always left those trainings feeling like, well, great, I have more on my to-do list now and I'm in a bad mood. My course is the opposite. As you move through it, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be inspired, and when you come to the end, you're going to hear a special message from me that I hope keeps your fire lit for a long time. I put a lot of thought into how I ended the course, and I hope that you will get a chance to experience what I put in there for you. I'm so glad that you have been here with me today. Thanks for watching this video. And I'm going to end with a special announcement. So you spoke and I listened. I spent this morning adjusting the payment options. So there's now an option for you to check out and pay just $25 a month. This time of year, I know there's a lot of extra costs and things that pop up, but that doesn't mean that you have to miss out on this opportunity. I hope that this option puts the course within your reach because it's my job to get the course in your hands and so that you can finally get the help that you need. Visit my website for the details. And remember that the doors close on Friday. Don't let time get away from you. Secure your spot now and you can do it today for just $25. I hope that this has been helpful and I'm here to talk. So please reach out if you need anything. And thank you. Talk to you soon.